Hey guys, my name is Marcel, and today we're playing with this. This is the new Blackbeard X from Mantis. All right, before we start using it, let's do a very quick unboxing so you can see what comes with it. In the box, there's another box, but this one is a nice carrying case. In the carrying case, pretty straightforward. You get some cables, your charging cable, and an Allen key to adjust the laser. You get your BCG replacement. Don't worry about it being, a little bit dirty. This isn't the first time I opened this box. I had to play with this last night. And you get your battery pack. And right off the bat, let's go into our first complaint about this. That is micro USB. It's 2022. That should be USB-C. Or, some newfangled standard, but like this is ancient. So the cool thing about this being the battery pack, your magazine, is that you could do reload changes. Like you could start with a snap cap mag and then pop this one in and go at it again. Or you could probably just buy another one of these. I'm not sure yet about how drop resistant this is going to be. On concrete, this will probably blow apart very easily. Installing this is actually really easy. All you have to do, pop your AR apart, pull your bolts out, pull your charging handle out, pop that guy in. It is going to get dirty. It's just how it is. You're going to have to reset your trigger. Give it a good smack maybe. There you go. All set, ready to go. When you're ready to actually go, all you got to do, put the mag in. If I connect this, you can see the reset mechanism actually reset the trigger. So, as you can tell, that wasn't actually in all the way. This is something I noticed with my other AR, and I'll show you in a second, is that, I actually have to, really slap it in there hard. And it is a little bit difficult to get out. So right now this guy doesn't have the bolt in it. Obviously it's still in the other one, but it's going in smooth. I'm guessing it might be because of the BCG. Now you've got it in, you've got the battery in. There's this little lever right here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna slide that down to the plus. That means that the laser, if you can see that on the camera, is gonna be always on. That way, you can move the laser around to match where your optic is. Ideally, you would do this at maybe 25 yards on an actual range or something where your actual optic is zeroed. Once you're all zeroed up, you can turn that off and then you can actually pull the trigger and see what happens. That is the trigger being reset by the system. This is pretty cool. Let's see what it does on the targets behind me. I've got the Blackbeard X mag here, and I've got a fully loaded Daniel Defense magazine. This is 32 rounds, fully loaded. I just wanted to hold them side by side, see what the weight simulation is like. And the live mag is actually quite a bit heavier. I thought when I first pulled this out, I was like, man, those batteries weigh quite a bit. This might be heavier than a real mag, and it's not. It would be actually kind of cool if they loaded this up with some lead shot or something to give this a little bit more gravity so that it feels like a real mag, and you might be able to do a mag change with real mag weight. I've got the benchmark drill on the phone, and we're just gonna see what happens. It's 10 shots. Let's just pull the trigger slowly. Three shots in, we are getting some information. Cool, that's the session done. Not spectacular, we know this. I am not a rifle shooter by any means. I do quite enjoy being able to see the actual, dot travel pre-click. It's pretty nifty. So there's a few different things I could do, kneeling position. This is kind of cool. You can do all the different training stuff. Some of this is actually different from what you would do, the handgun sections. Slow fire, sitting, 200 yards. 5 rounds in 5 minutes at 200 yards. Is that like physically possible? Do you have to like take a nap between each round? I've got a third size USPSA target down there, and I'm just gonna aim at the head box and just pull the trigger. Three shots in, we are getting some information. All right, let's talk about splits here for a second. So that is telling me I've got 0.14 splits. I know that both of these guns can do 10s, so I'm unsure what's causing that. So it's a little bit interesting to me that I'm only getting 14 splits. Obviously it takes time for the servo motor to do its work to actually push that firing pin back down. This is a very useful training tool. I think the novelty of the Blackbeard is that you can do trigger reset drills. You can do transitions and you're not faking the trigger. Like the trigger is being reset. I can come here, just 2 headshots, come over here, back. But this does not replace live fire by any means. Okay, I want to try something. I've got my normal USPSA rig on. I've used this for 2 gun as well. So I've got my rifle on a sling and I've switched to my competition gun. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up, do 2 shots, transition to my handgun and just do 2 shots. I just want to see what the Blackbeard tells me. I tried connecting the X10 to this along with the Blackbeard, see if maybe I can get some information on shooting this, transitioning, and drawing the gun, seeing if I can get information on actually drawing. That is not the case, only connects to one device. That feedback has been emailed into my contact. Let's see if I can hit that headshot. And this is how you know I'm not a rifle person, because it takes me this long to get on target, right? So if we just give myself a fake beep. Kind of a simulated V-drill. You're not necessarily going to be training 0.10 splits with this thing, but it'd be nice if it could do 0.10 splits. Let's see what this thing does with reloads. You might be able to see the blue light is still on, meaning it is still connected. All right, so we have a problem. So I've got the Blackbeard X in here, just an empty mag. That does not actually go in. Blackbeard mag goes in, a little bit of pressure, drops out pretty good too. So I've got the mag catches lined up, and you can see that difference in height, right? The feed lips actually take up a lot of space that the Blackbeard X has. It's actually quite interesting. The Blackbeard is actually ramped right here so that you can do pretty nifty reloads. There's a little bit of wear on it already. Kind of annoying that I can't do reload drills with actually dropping an empty mag. Click, click, click. I'm aiming right about here. I'm seeing the dot just kind of do this, right? So that is not a lot of movement as I'm pulling the trigger. Unsure why the score is that terrible. All right, let's do a little bit of a wrap up. I like this thing. I'm actually gonna be using this in dry fire. I have my basement here I'm working on, and between working on this, I have targets up. I can do some dry fire with this. This is really nice because you get that resetting trigger, and you get the Mantis X feedback. I've been enjoying this. I've probably put 1,000 trigger presses through it in the past like hour. My arm is sore from holding my guns up. And these are not heavy guns, so I'm just weak. At the very least, doing drills, doing transition drills, and just feeling that trigger reset. It's gonna help me with that quite a bit. Some follow-up things that I wanna do. I do wanna take this out to the range, do some live fire with an X10 on a rail mount on that rifle, just to see if I can get the same results from the X10 as I did from this. Because that's important. What we do in dry fire, we need to be able to verify in live fire. So if I go in live fire and this thing's telling me my shots are like 10, and I'm in dry fire and it's telling me my shots are 95, we've got a problem, right? I need to work on something. I need to make my dry fire better. If it matches up a little bit closer, which I think it will, especially on the transition drills, I think the 50s and 70s that I'm doing there, I think is going to match up with the live fire, especially like the 2 drop down, come out with my handgun, or the reload, just like dead trigger, click, reload into it. I think it's going to give me pretty much the exact same number. That's something I can test. The other thing I didn't test is something like kneeling, something like sitting, something like, I don't know, prone. So yeah, I'll leave you with this very nifty dry fire tool.